Hey there, everyone. Thank you, man, for tuning in to my broadcast. I am R.D. Smith, your guide to men's relationships, fashion, and health. So, today we're going to have a topic that I think we all should be concerned about. You do or you don't. Marriage. Do you or don't you? Do you want to be married or do you not want to be married? We have a situation in this country where our marriage rate is falling drastically. So I wanted to delve into this situation, this topic, and see what possibly we as men could do about it. But before we get into that, I have a fragrance for the week, and it is this Acqua di Gio by Giorgio Armani. Now, at first, I did not feel this, or this wasn't my thing. I didn't want to have it, but my wife put me onto this, and gentlemen, I am so glad she did. This is an amazing everyday cologne. Now look at it. It's already halfway gone. I use it most of the time. I can put it on liberally, and it doesn't overpower. It's excellent for those guys that work in an office to wear this every day. It could be your go-to fragrance. I've gotten compliments about it already, and it's very light. It's very citrusy. It's aromatic. It is a beautiful, nice, manly. It's not too sweet. Not too sweet. Don't want to have it too sweet, but it's a nice, manly cologne. So I recommend you go out and get some. It's not that expensive. I actually bought this on Amazon, so you don't have to go and leave your house and try to hunt it down. Get you a bottle as soon as you can. This is not sponsored by them. I'm not getting paid, but I want to make sure that you smell your best. So go out and grab you some of this Acqua di Gio by Giorgio Armani, and you will not be disappointed. Okay. All right. So as we move forward, I want to talk about a situation, of course, that we have in our society with the divorce rate. There's been some things going on between men and women for many years in this country, across the board, no matter what demographic you are a part of. And I've been noticing it. Now, myself, I have been married twice, okay? Fortunately, I had a divorce, but God blessed me. And I married a wonderful woman. And she's been my wife for going on 11 years now. And it's been a fantastic marriage. I am so pleased with her. I think, and I told you about, she's the one putting me onto that cologne because she wants me to smell a certain way. So it's been an amazing time with her, and I really appreciate her. But I want to look at this, and some of you may be married out there, and we're going to talk about in the future how to improve our marriages. But those of you that aren't married, gentlemen out there, I want to look at some whys. Why aren't we married? Why aren't we doing it? Do you know that men, we are the ones that promote relationships and marriage, and women are the ones that promote sex, of course, and reproduction and having babies. They hold that, and we hold proposals. We hold marriage and relationships. That's on us. So if the marriage rate is getting lower, it's not because of them. It's because we are not proposing. We're not going and getting wives. Okay. So this is an important thing. But before we move any further, I just want to show you a statistic here. I'm going to take you to another screen here and show you what's going on with this. If you look at the screen here, it shows the marriage rate between the demographics of this country. So you have Black, Hispanic, white, and Asian. If you look up there, well, let's start with the best group first. Let's start at the bottom, which would be the Asians, who are actually now married at 58%. Okay, and this is from the U.S. Census Bureau of 2019. So in 2019, they were married at 58%. You had 1% separation, 5% divorces, 4% were widowed, and 31% were never married. So most of the Asian population in the United States, according to the U.S. Census Bureau in 2019, were married. Behind them was the white demographic, white people here in our country. 52% of them are married in 2019. 1% were separated. 12% were divorced. 7% were widowed, and 28% were never married. Third is the Hispanic population. 43% of them were married in 2019. 3% were separated. 9% were divorced. 3% were widowed, and 43% were never married. And the fourth, coming in last, of course, is the black population, African Americans. Only 30% in this country were married. 3% are separated. 12% are divorced. 6% are widowed. And 50% of the black population has never been married. That is alarming. Okay. And it looks like, hey, we're the ones, the black population, have the issues. We're the one with the trouble. It looks like the Asians are beating us out. Our white counterparts are beating us out. Even the Hispanics are beating us out, and we're in dead last, and that's sad. But we have to figure out something we can do. What is the reason why we don't want to get married? Now, one of the reasons I've seen, and as you've seen there, it's been going down. The marriage rate has been going down since the 50s. Okay, I believe in 2000 there was an 8 out of every 1,000 people were married. Now it's down to like 5 or something like that. Every 1,000 are married. That's across the board. That doesn't have a stigma on any demographic itself. That's across the board. But what do we want to do? Now, I've noticed that over time, there's been this battle of the sexes, if you will, between men and women, and how we are competing. And there's some gentlemen on YouTube, and namely some that I thought were really good at trying to bring, this out to light. Kevin Samuels is one of them that, unfortunately he passed away just last week, but he was one that tried to bring this out to the public, to mainstream, and he did that, where we're having this conversation about our issue with marriage, okay? And of course his tactics might have been a little harsh for some people. Some people didn't like his tone or whatever, but the message was still true. We have a problem, and we need to figure out how to fix it. Now, one of the things that I've noticed talking to men in general over the years is that men are afraid to lose what they have. They're afraid to get in a committed relationship, propose to this woman in the chance that they might lose all of that they worked on over the years. The majority of men tend to pay child support. The majority of men tend to pay alimony. They tend to lose the house, the car, the dog, everything in our court system. And it's true. That happened to me. But of course I was able to rebound. But men are scared to do that because they don't want to lose their livelihoods. And we noticed through that, some of your more wealthy athletes or even your entertainers and even some CEOs will get into a marriage because they're coming in with a lot of finance, a lot of money. They want a prenuptial agreement. They want, if this thing fails, that, hey, I want to keep everything that I brought. I don't want her to be able to take everything. And women, they despise that because women are generally going into marriage for security's sake, and companionship. And they want some security. They want to be able to take care of. But the alarming thing about that is, according to the CDC, the 80% of women are the ones that are filing for divorce. That's alarming. When you have 80% of married women are filing divorce, they're taking their husbands to court and taking, what they have. So you can see why men generally are afraid. They don't want the commitment. They don't want the headache. Another thing that I've noticed talking to men, and they said these new generation of women aren't like the old generation. They tend to not be as cooperative, not as supportive, more combative, not tending to have traditional abilities like cooking, cleaning, those type of things. And but the men, they tell me that we are, they still want us to bring home the bacon. They want us to take care of everything. They want us to pay the bills. They want us to, provide for them. But we're not getting. It seems like men are not getting getting the raw end of the deal. So we've noticed even over time that men of this country are going to other countries, going to the East, and they're marrying Asian women. They're marrying out of their race, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with people marrying out of their race, but we have a lot of situations going on where that's the case because they feel like modern women of today are not marriage material. Okay, they're not marriage material. Of course, I am a Bible believer, and the Bible says expressly that he that finds a wife finds a good thing. Now, the problem with that, a lot of people, women might think, oh, well, see, if you find a wife, you make me a wife, you found a good thing and you're going to get favor with God. Well, the Bible says that if you find a wife, not a woman, a wife, you will have favor from God. And a lot of times, and wives are not born, they're made, and they are trained to be wives. Just like a husband is not born, he's made. So this is some of the situations. And of course, this is a man's channel, and women, of course, are free to look on and partake and see what I'm talking about. But this is what's going on, ladies, if you're paying attention. But men are afraid because they're not getting that support, that type of feeling that when they come home from work, they have somebody that's interested in what they're doing. Okay. And this is what's happening over the years. So we have to do something about that. What can we do, gentlemen? What can we do to change that? I don't know if it's anything we can do per se, but I know that if we start the conversation and talk to these young ladies, these ladies that are our potential mates, that maybe we can get them to listen to us and not be so combative. But we found that that's kind of difficult too, especially in this day and age. And one thing that I've noticed that has made it very difficult, especially in the Black community, as you saw in what we showed you in the statistics, is that a lot of the women are combative. They even get to the point where they fight us in the streets, and I've seen it. And not all Black women, don't get upset. Oh, you're saying, no, I'm saying we've seen that. And then we had shows that, I remember years ago, it was on Channel 9, I believe, Steve Harvey and some panels of ladies and gentlemen were talking, and these educated, well-educated, very affluent, in some cases, women were saying they couldn't find any good Black men. And I'm like, wow, I mean, none of us are out there. And it was like, and they put that on mainstream. And then after that, if you notice, if you were paying attention, we had this group called the Swirlers, divestors. Now they call them divestors. And they basically are saying that Black men are no good and white men, of course, are better than Black men. We don't take care of our children, and that's not true. I can give you statistics over and over again, but we'll do that in a later time. I'm not going to be before you long. I don't believe we need to do that, but I want to get the conversation started. In our next week, we're going to continue this conversation until we move on to some other things. But it's important that we have the discussion and try to help our young ladies to understand what we are going through as men. We've been maligned. We've been beat up in the media. Commercials come out, show us that we're so stupid, and a woman has to tell us what to do. I remember this one commercial. Me and my wife were laughing about it, and it wasn't funny. But I heard it. I was in the bedroom and I heard the TV, and I came out. What is that? So basically, the commercial was it was a Black couple, and their friend had passed away, and it was a life insurance commercial, and the gentleman, she asked, did you get did you talk to the insurance people? She wants to make sure he has life insurance in case something happens to him. And he's like, no, I never got. What do you mean you didn't? And she's all berated him and everything. And I was like, what the? What? And he's like, wait a minute, I was trying to get the right deal, because in some cases, ladies, you guys gotta understand. It seems like we're more valuable to you dead than we are alive. I mean, some people, men have $1 million policy on their for life insurance, and they don't even make anywhere near that amount of money. Because and that's kind of disgrunting. I'm worth $1 million dead, but only 50 alive. Oh, well, she might be trying to knock me off. I'm making light of it, but some men think like that. They get scared. It's like, wait a minute, why do you want $1 million policy on it when we only live over here? We don't have $1 million house. Why? And this is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. And because again, men and women get married for different reasons, and women, of course, want security. And men generally want someone for legacy. They want to carry on their seed. They want to have children, and that's what we do. Now you have different types of men out here. You have some men that I would say that are alpha males. I've been called an alpha male. You tend to have a direction. You tend to move forward, and you got beta males. And there's nothing wrong with being a beta male, but generally beta males are more docile, more laid back, and I call them let your wife order for you type dudes. Not trying to be mean or anything like that, but when you're at the restaurant, she'll order your food for you instead of you. I was raised, and I was raised by a single parent, by my mother mostly, and I was taught how to order for my wife, and so I learned that many years ago. So I'm considered that type of guy, and today that that's kind of looked frowned upon. Why are you ordering for her? She's not stupid. She can order for herself. Well, that's just the way we do. This is our way of showing our wives that we have their back. You don't have to worry about anything. I'll pay for anything. I'll pay for all this stuff. But today, that's not the case. And so we've seen this type of thing go on against, with the men and women butting heads with each other about these type of things. And the beta male is more docile, of course, and the alpha male is more take charge person. And we alpha males tend to get called male chauvinists. Oh, you're a male chauvinist because you want to do this and that. And I'm like, whoa, what does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? So these are things that we're dealing with, ladies, gentlemen. I know you experienced that. And some of the things, we can't even compliment anybody anymore. So there's a lot of situations we're going to talk about. This is not the only day that we're going to talk about. This is going to be ongoing, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys some things that I think we could do to help to get this dialogue going. I'm going to share with you, of course, other fragrances, things to wear, shirts, how to put on a nice jacket, watches like this one right here is one of my favorite watches, things of that nature. So, eyewear, if you wear earrings like I do, nice earrings, things that make you look good, smell good, and be appealing. Amen. And also, I want you to be a person of substance. So we're going to talk about those things. So this is like the introduction to this channel. So I hope you enjoyed it today. Of course, not going to be before you long, but we're going to continue on this vein next week, and we're going to talk about what do we do with this situation between men and women. Do you want to be married, gentlemen? Or don't you? Okay. So with all that said, I'm going to let you go, and I will see you on next time. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.